Welcome back to the Bourbon Note, everybody. I'm Ben. Got a new brand here on the bar tonight. Let's get into it. So on the bar tonight, I've got Bam! This is Shenk's Homestead 2024 release. Now this one is not a new brand in the sense that it's a new brand to the market, but it is a new brand to me. I've never owned one of these before, never had one of these before. This is a limited release, yearly release from Michter's. And I guess this one, so I don't have any experience with this. I know they do a release every year. From what I've heard, this is a little bit different, kind of off profile from their previous releases, but apparently it's a high rye. They said substantial rye, 91.2 proof, and apparently it has malted rye and caramel malt in the mash bill. I don't know what a caramel malt does to a mash bill, but it sounds interesting. I don't know anything about the age, but on the nose, it's got a really, really nice nose. I should maybe mention up front too, this was $140. So I don't know if I maybe overpaid a little bit for it. I recently put out a bourbon hunting video and I had this on the shelves. I picked them up and people had commented saying that that's about retail, but I've also seen online, I guess, you know, anywhere from 100 to 140. So I don't know. Anytime you get that high of a price point, you're setting yourself up for a disappointment. Let's set that aside and just concentrate on the bourbon. It's a great oak note on the nose. Some nice, there's sweetness there, but it's like a darker sweetness, like maybe leaning into more like a chocolate. Some spice, little oak spice. Almost a little bit, man, this is kind of a complicated nose. I can see like a little bit of apple. Some caramel, like caramel drizzle, like maybe caramel apple, I guess. A little light marshmallow too. This is kind of all over the board here for me, but the sweetness is a little bit on the darker side for the most part. There's like a chocolatey mocha sort of vibe to it. Let's get into the palate. Cheers. Whatever they're doing to get this level of flavor out of 91.2 proof is pretty awesome, because that's really good. It's a little similar to what it is on the nose, but it's a little more bold than I was expecting. Again, at 91.2 proof, I was hesitant to even purchase it for that price, being such a low proof, but it's similar to the nose. It's got the nice oak and this dark sweetness. It comes across as well-aged. So I don't know what the age statement is on this. I know that Michter's uses a lower barrel entry proof. And so I think that contributes to them being able to get maybe a little more flavor out of some lower proof stuff. Definitely the mocha showed up on the palate. But yeah, this really drinks well-aged. It's got a nice mouthfeel to it. Fairly oily, nice long finish. The flavor kind of hangs on for a little while. Yeah, so far so good. Let's go in for the second sip. Cheers. On that second sip, that was much more oak and spice forward, but it has those kind of deep and rich flavors. I said before that it drinks well-aged. It has some of those like really dark, almost like kind of like a leathery sort of note that I tend to get off of well-aged stuff. And yeah, that second sip was really oak and spice in a good way. This is a really, really good bourbon. The sweetness is there still, but on that second sip, it was definitely kind of took a back sweet. The sweetness took a back seat to that sort of really nice oak and spice note. Incidentally, it's not like a rye spice though. They said in the information about this that it was a substantial amount of rye. So I'm assuming that's a nice high rye bourbon, but it's not drinking like that. I'm not getting rye flavor notes out of it, but there is a nice bit of spice coming off of it. Let's go in for the final sip here. That is a very interesting bourbon. Wow. That's really good. I gotta say, I'm really impressed with this. The level of flavor coming off of this thing for the proof point is maybe the most impressive part. But I feel like this is one that you can really pick apart a little bit, and each sip kind of, it's not necessarily that the flavor profile changes, but it seems, at least in the experience I'm having right now, it's kind of like different parts of that flavor profile are kind of manifesting themselves differently on each sip. So this might be one of those kind of roller coaster bourbons where you can sit with it for, you know, pour yourself a nice healthy, you know, Friday evening pour of it and just sit there and really enjoy it and pick it apart. And I think that you'll get a lot of different things off of it. But honestly, I gotta say, I think this is excellent. Now, the price point, you know, it's anytime there's a bourbon that comes with a premium price point, like I consider like above $100. You know, I don't know. I don't know that I'm gonna feel the need to chase these like every year they come out. If I see one, that I'm gonna get it at that price point. Maybe if it was closer to 100, maybe. But I'd definitely be interested in trying some of the other year's expressions. I just don't know if I'm gonna pay the money for it. Again, I'm happy to have the bottle on my shelf. I don't regret the purchase, but I don't know if I'm gonna, you know, again, chase these, you know, every time they come out every year. But let me know if you guys have had this one, because I think this is really, really an interesting flavor profile. And again, a ton of flavor for the somewhat low proof on it. So yeah, this is an interesting one. I think I'm gonna have fun making my way through this bottle. So again, let me know in the comments if you've had this, what you think of it, what you think of the price point, all that stuff. This has been Shenk's Homestead 2024 release on the Bourbon Note. I'm Ben. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.